Jesus is the only way to know God. Find out why in this episode of 5 Minutes Closer. I'm Vaughn Weatherford, and this is 5 Minutes Closer. For the next 5 minutes, let's explore some biblical truths and apply them to your life. No podcast, including this one, can transform your life or give you what you really need. Only Jesus can do that. You can find out why in what I've called the first five episodes of 5 Minutes Closer. Each following episode explores scriptural truths that, if you follow them, will bring you 5 minutes closer to the person God created you to be. Let's see if we can get you 5 minutes closer. In the days before cell phones and GPS devices, everyone had to find their way around using physical maps. As a traveling insurance salesman, my dad had dozens of maps. I could always tell where he'd been by which map was on the top of the stack that was in the glove box of his car. Imagine finding a person with hundreds of maps, but no car. That was the problem John identifies in John chapter 1, verses 16 and following. For from his fullness we have all received grace upon grace. For the law was given through Moses. Grace and truth came through Jesus Christ. No one has ever seen God, the only God who is at the Father's side. He has made him known. In this passage, John describes what Jesus had done and why only he could do it. John explains how Jesus fully reveals God to us. The law was given through Moses, a pivotal figure in Jewish history. Moses recorded the law. God's people had the map. The problem was they had no way to follow it in full. They proved their failure time and time again. Then Jesus comes into the world. Notice the distinction John makes. The law is given through Moses. Grace and truth come through Christ. Moses described the law to God's people. Jesus fulfills the law. Jesus not only reveals God, but John identifies Jesus as the only God. Jesus is the visible revelation of the invisible God. What Moses could only describe, Jesus is. The scientist William Röntgen was experimenting with a cathode ray tube when he noticed that every time he sent electricity through the tube, crystals on the other side of the room began to glow. He determined that an invisible wave of energy was emanating from the tube and causing the crystals to glow. For lack of a better name, he called the energy X-rays. Soon, scientists discovered that by exposing photographic plates with X-rays, physicians could look inside a person and see their skeletal structure. Several years later, comic book publishers advertised X-ray glasses. They used to sell them in the back of comic books, accompanied by a cartoon picture of a kid looking at his hand and seeing the bones of his fingers. Trust me, the glasses don't work. I bought some. They basically make everything so blurry you don't know what you're looking at. Someone could hit you over the head with a bone and you wouldn't know it. The world is full of promises to help you see the invisible, even promises to know God. But only Jesus can deliver. Without Jesus, no one can see God. In Christ, the invisible is made visible, not only partially, but in its fullness. In Jesus, we know the full grace of God that we could not know any other way. It is a grace that is ever present and without end. That's what the incarnation is all about, the Word made flesh. Want to know God? Look at Jesus, because now you're 5 minutes closer. My prayer is that these 5 minutes have challenged you, inspired you, and caused you to consider applying God's message for your life from His Word. To find out more, visit our website at 5minutescloser.com. Join me next time to see if we can get you 5 minutes closer.